Amy Noodles McLennan. How are we feeling this afternoon?
Well, those pictures in the text.
Welcome, friends. Welcome. Welcome, friends.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Am I missing something?
Just look at the text that Brian sent.
Well, because you were getting your cameras set up and it froze, and it was, it was a compromising position. And it was another friend of ours that I was working with the other day that was his head was in the clouds a little bit.
Staring the wrong direction.
That's the beauty of like technology, right? When you're getting set up to go on a show, like if you're doing this show, if you're doing Sports Center, you're doing a panel, like there's cameras, there's producers, there's directors everywhere.
Technology and stuff.
If you're looking the other way and people are watching you, like, what the hell's going through this guy's head? What are these people thinking right now?
A lot of times, I just don't understand. When you're at, we'll call it your home or office base, there's only one camera. Why?
Right, exactly.
Why are you facing the wrong way when there's only one camera, singular, in front of you?
Great question, Noodles. You're right, because if you're doing the panel, they might be like,
panel
all
is
right,
four cameras.
You're going to three, now a solo, now a pan out. If you're doing a single into an iPhone, there's no reason to be looking this way ever.
But let me ask you guys this. Did you not find that the most nerve-wracking experience about broadcasting is when they say, and I don't know why they do it, it's just a part of doing television and possibly at TSN, once you kind of like engage with the host, you're looking into a camera and you are in no man's land. Yeah. And when you're starting out, dude, I did it at the NHL Network when I started working there. I just had that kind of, I lost my train of thought and I was like,
yeah. Oh, I know.
It's horrifying.
It is horrifying because I've been there too. I'm still getting used to it. Like our show is very free flowing. There's one camera, but you're looking up, down. There's no, you're not directly into a camera. But if you're doing a panel show where you have a 30-second dialogue on something, they expect you to look in the camera. You might engage with other panelists and move around a little bit, but you're right. Like the way they make the sausage is the camera that's on. Usually it's got the red light. Yes. Right, but there is a director in your ear also saying like, okay, camera 4, camera 2.
Yeah.
And I've worked with guys before where they're always looking at the wrong camera, and then the director's like, all right, I guess we got to go to that camera. And right when they do, the guy moves over to the other one, and you can tell the production crew is like, man, we can't get this thing right. Anyway, good to see you guys.
Yes.
Welcome, friends. It's great to be here this afternoon.
Welcome back, friends.
Welcome back, friends.
I thought about it. I heard it back, and it's gone. I got to come up.
Really?
It's not happening at 5? I thought at 5. I think you take it for another test run at 5.
Yeah, one more at 5.
One more test.
I know what you guys do. It was stupid, and you want me to say it again just to hear it again.
I want you to knock the rust off. Like you just said, your first time looking at cameras, first time
Send
introing.
some ideas in how to bring in the second hour as something different than welcome back, friends.
No, I like welcome back, friends. To me, that's personal.
Okay.
It's personal. And somebody who's listening and been waiting and for us to come back on TV or on the radio or streaming device, you're welcome a friend back in. I love it.
All right. I like it too. I think we bring it up at 5. Well, we've got a lot to get into today. I thought, listen, people in Ottawa aren't going to want to hear this, but justice was served. I hate that offside rule. Dude, I've hated it ever since they put it in. And the Canes deserve to win the game because that goal never should have been called back, in my opinion. I know based on the rule, it's a millimeter offside. It's such a stupid rule. I hate it. I have hated it since day one. And I felt for people last night in the barn, like in the building. The guy wins in overtime. They start running out of the building. And then all of a sudden, you've left and you're in your car and the game's still going on. And then there's a penalty shot. It was bedlam in Carolina last night. It really was. And
great game,
It was a great hockey game. And I don't think Ottawa's dead. I don't think they're dead. I think they'll fight. I think they'll come home and they'll win at least one of those games, if not both.
I thought, did you guys not think for large portions of later in that hockey game, they controlled the play and they kind of dictated? And I'm like, these guys got to win this. They deserve it. And what a shame when you have a goaltender like that to kind of not piss away, but to not use up one of those performances.
Oh,
He
was
played great.
Linus
Dude, he was
Ullmark,
unreal.
that's the best I've ever
seen. Yeah.
Yeah, he played great. I thought Freddie played well, though, too. I thought they both played well.
They both, like, that was a goaltender's duel. Ullmark is he's not a flashy goaltender. He made 5 flashy, unbelievable saves, like glove saves, diving across. Like, it wasn't about style points. It's about keeping the puck out of the net.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was unbelievable. And it sucked that somebody had to lose that game, because that was a great game. I felt for Ottawa because I thought, okay, the minute you get that goal called back, regardless of how you feel about it, and I agree with you, Hayes, like, that sucks. But I like, okay, Ottawa's going to win this game. Like, I kept thinking they're going to win. They got a second life. And I mean, it was offside in the spirit of it, but I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
No, listen, the rule is the rule. I'm not saying it wasn't applied properly. They review. It looks so close. But I've said it forever, and I will say it again. That is not the spirit of the Matt Duchene 5 feet offside rule. Like, they put that rule in place because the league was embarrassed by how ridiculous it was that Matt Duchene was basically at the hash marks and they didn't call it properly. And they completely overreacted to the point where last night, even the broadcast couldn't find it originally. They're like, when was the guy offside?
They
was
thought it was like,
they
they thought it was the guy right at the Slavin or somebody right at the blue line. They're like, no, that wasn't out. And then it was like way back. I looked at it, and I know Greeny was adamant on the bench. He was like, well, that's offside. And I'm like, I don't think that's not offside.
I wasn't sure either.
And what's brutal about it is, guys, it's like that game was so good, and you're talking about high-end, skill, speed, playoff hockey, and that storyline dominates the conversation.
It does.
It's so stupid. Like, you're taken away from the best players in the world because someone is making a judgment call on whether he had control of the puck. Didn't have, like, it's crazy stuff. I thought it was nonsense. I was watching it, and I tweeted out. I was like, what the hell's going on here? Yeah. What is this? No goal, but by the way, there was a penalty shot. How is that even possible?
Sequence.
And it was Martinook who ends up scoring the winner.
I know. Isn't that crazy? Like, it is the hockey gods are the circle of the game, but okay, no goal, but here's a penalty shot. Like, that was the
it's like compensation almost.
Unreal. And what a save that was, too. Like, it just.
Well, I was thinking about this. Like, how some guys, like, names and players, they just fit. Like, isn't Jordan Martinook the most Carolina Hurricanes player ever? Like, he just has to be a Carolina Hurricane. And he's just a really good player.
Gritty.
That is gritty, and he just goes out and plays, and he puts up like 30 points a year or whatever. And anyway, it was a great hockey game, and it was a big missed opportunity for Ottawa. Because
I think with what you've seen this year, the one thing about that guy that makes him valuable, he just doesn't mail in shifts and just figure skates out there and just says, give me my check, and Calle Yarncrocs it through 82 games. And there was a bunch of those guys. Yeah, that guy, it's very simple. He cares about his craft, and he works out there, and he's effective.
Yeah.
And it's almost like he values being in the league so much that he busts his ass because he doesn't want to leave the league or leave the Carolina Hurricanes. The difference between that guy, number 48, and a bunch of them around the league is the guy cares, and you can see it on the ice, and that's what makes him effective.
Well, he's been in the league 10 years, and he's made a hell of a living off of it because he started in Arizona and then went on to Carolina. I think this is 8 years in Carolina, 7-8 years.
Yep, he's been there a long time.
But they know exactly what they're getting from him. A good, honest effort every night. And I've met him a few times personally. He's a great guy, and he knows how to play. He knows exactly how to be effective in the NHL. And you're right, Like, this isn't a guy that just collects a check. He goes out and pays the price every night and battles. And, no better coach for him, right? Rod Brindamore probably shown him every little trick of the trade and how to maximize his potential. And he's a great player. I like just gritty.
Yeah, well, and that's what last night I think was. I mean, between him and Kasperi Kapanen, those are the heroes of the night, effectively, for the Canadian teams playing, one going against a Canadian team, one going for a Canadian team. And I thought Draisaitl was a bull in a china shop last night. He was so good. McDavid, like, they were on him last night. He didn't have a lot of open ice like that.
I didn't think he had a good game.
No, I thought he was very quiet, but they luckily didn't need him in the end. And they I wouldn't say they stole one last night, but it was dicey. And, that Dickinson scores 2, and then Kapanen.
Don't you think that's a blessing in disguise, though, Hayes?
Big time.
If they are going to go the distance, all we've been talking about all year is, are their goalies going to hold up? And it's the McDavid and the Draisaitl show every night. So you got a guy that gets a couple goals. You get a goal from Kapanen, nothing from Jesus, and you pick up the win.
Wow.
So that's nothing but obviously it's nothing but a positive. If you're going to go the distance again, something about these guys, and I talked about them on the panel, Jamie, the other day, saying they might be out of magic tricks. These guys just light up, man, when the playoffs start, and they seem to get mojo, and they got energy. And I don't know, but you're going to have to do it a bunch of different times, because how many times over the last 2 runs have we said, need a goal from somebody else, need a goal from somebody else?
No. They got
and
him
last night they got it. I thought it was
So,
fantastic and nothing to worry about.
Well, if you go back on the game-winning goal, it was a special effort by Draisaitl.
Yes, it was.
He went end to end,
high-stepping, fluttering,
split the D, bullied his way through. Then the cycle started. Like that zone entry doesn't start. Most of the league doesn't make that zone entry if it's not for 29 bullying his way through. And then it's Podkolzin into Kapanen. And, that's the difference. A special player makes a special play. That's not even on the highlights. Joe ran the highlights of the fourth goal. You don't see the entry. The entry is probably the most special part about that goal, because they don't get in the zone if it's not for Draisaitl. It was like 1-on-2, and he just bullied his way through.
Well, and look who he's playing with. I mean, Colson and Kapanen.
Yes.
This guy hasn't played in 6 weeks.
Yeah. For everybody that was like, Matthews didn't have anybody to play with, he's going out there with Kasperi Kapanen, caps out at 20 a season if he has a fantastic year, maybe 10 or 15. And Podkolzin has turned himself into a possible 20 to 25 goal scorer, capped out, maxed out. And Leon Draisaitl goes out there and does business with them every night. Think about that.
Yeah, doesn't miss a beat. Now, he has been, I think, the most reliable playoff performer in the league the last decade. That includes McDavid, in my opinion. I know McDavid has more. He's got more hardware because he's got the Conn Smythe and he's got the points. Draisaitl, every single game, he seems to just lean on teams. And they do it in a different fashion. That's what kind of makes it so fun to watch Edmonton is McDavid's flying and Draisaitl's got 3 guys on his back. They're just very different players. But, he didn't show up and look for any excuses. He looked like he was 100%. He was ready to play, and he was making plays all night. And you're right. I mean, that whole goal happens because of him.
Look at
this, 2 guys on him. He's like, get out of my way. And then he loses the puck. Here it's fluttering, and he goes, all right,
Cycles
I got it.
Podkolzin,
brilliant
right
play.
Kapanen,
Brilliant.
Just heavy play.
That's how good he is. That's how good Draisaitl is to have that luxury. And there are other great players in the league, but to be an Oiler fan and not have to worry about this guy at all, even though he's coming off an injury. Now, maybe after the first, maybe he's running on adrenaline. The next day he wakes up, his knee's not feeling great today. We'll see. We'll see what happens for Game 2 tomorrow. But to just be able to pencil him out in to be the most dominant player on the ice every night is an incredible luxury to have.
Yeah.
When you've got the other guy who, if he gets cooking, it's lights out for a team like Anaheim.
You're the opponent, Hayes. You kind of know. I had to deal with the Big E. When you knew when Big E was on his game, you got a serious problem on your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're asking yourself in the locker room, and it's not a loser mentality. You're a normal human being. You're like, what if Big E is all horned up tonight out there and he's killing people and he wants to get 2-2 and break 2 defensemen's shoulder blades? What are we going to have for that? That's what they do. They make you think what answer do we have for that type of animal? And that's what this guy's a different beast, but that's what they make you think about. How are you going to deal with them?
You're right. Special players find a way different every night.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. Anaheim, Like, good on them. They're a talented team, man. Like, they can play. Like, I don't think they're just showing up and going lessons learned here. Like, there'll be adjustments.
Yeah, they'll be ready for game 2.
But Anaheim, if it's not this year, they're going to be a special team moving forward. That Carlson is unbelievable.
He's really, really good.
And
he's really good.
Like, Terry is kind of the graybeard of the team. He's 27, I believe.
Yeah.
Like, you look at, yes, they got veterans, the Killorns and all that. I'm talking the young players.
Yeah.
Like, they don't play with any fear. They've got skill.
I thought
speed.
Seneca was great last night.
He can dance.
For a young kid, he's 19 years old. He's a rookie.
Yeah.
And for him to be playing in that environment, like as a Canadian kid who knows he's walking into oil country and they're rocking, like he plays with composure. He's a big boy. He's a really good player. And they took some heat for that pick. Remember, like he was he went 3rd overall. He was mocked at like going 18th, 20th, 21st.
He was shocked. He stood up and he went, holy bleep.
Yeah, he couldn't believe that Pat Verbeek could take him. He couldn't believe Anaheim took him. And that's the thing about like having the faith in your scouting and having the stones to say, we're taking them. I don't care if everyone else looks at us and goes, what are you doing? Like how are you taking that guy? The Leafs did it with Cowan to an extent. Cowan was not, the consensus wasn't first round pick.
Going on with that pick.
Absolutely.
Too.
Like if you got belief and you pull the trigger, and Seneca was really good last night.
Right? They see something. Weren't we at one of the drafts where things went haywire? Wasn't it Kekalainen didn't take somebody?
It was Puljujärvi that he was going to take, and he took Pierre-Luc Dubois instead. Yeah, it was Matthews, Laine, and then he took Dubois instead of Puljujärvi. And then, Puljujärvi dropped to 4 to Edmonton, I believe it was.
Yeah, exactly. Marmaduke skated around his tongue out.
Right. So, it was a good pick. I mean, Dubois.
Speaking of the Finn, is Patrick Laine, does he even put his gear on anymore?
No, he's been hurt, and he that'll be it for him in Montreal. I don't know where he's going to go, after this season, but his deal's up. So they're not going to, I can't imagine they're reinvesting in him.
Somebody's going to find, it'll be interesting to see, though. Somebody might take a flyer on him.
He'll be on a PTO, Jamie. Well, if anybody wants to invest more than the minimum, they're insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
The cap's going up, and if you have room, could you find a 2-year deal at, honest to God, like the guy can –
if he's healthy, he can. He's got talent. He does have talent.
You saw how it went. I don't want to start crapping on Patrick Laine out of the blue on this show.
Why not?
You saw the trajectory in Montreal. It was like fan favorite, whoa. And then the competition level just went down, and it went down, and it went down, and he stopped working and often hurt, and then it was just like non-factor.
He's been hurt all year this year. He's barely played.
He scored 15 goals, I think, from the exact same spot on that power play. Put it through the net. And now, I mean, that's Caulfield's spot. Like the first power play,
exactly.
He is not going to that spot on the first power play. That's Cole Caulfield's spot.
And we talked about every dog has his day, and you got to find an adjustment. He's like, I'm either scoring or I ain't playing. I'm not going to be effective. There's all kinds of first-round draft picks that are like, is there an opportunity for me to be a checker, a penalty killer, but they don't want to make their adjustment. They're like, I'm a scorer, and if I can't do that, they don't want to find any way else to play in the league. And Patrick has basically said, I take one tease on the power play, and I float around, and I'm not really a worker. But when it ain't working, you're out of a job.
Yeah. Well, in Montreal, again, when they signed him or when they acquired him, it was, they had these young guys. They didn't think they were a playoff team last year. They didn't, and they wanted some star power. They wanted a distraction to allow the kids to come up and everyone scream about Laine. And there was a lot of excitement in that marker. Remember that Paré kid knocked him out, the Leaf prospect or whatever, and then the place they went nuts in Montreal over that. But the market has clearly moved past him, as you would expect. And when you've got Suzuki and Caulfield ripping home 50+, and you don't have to worry about that. But it's a big opportunity for Montreal tonight. Yeah. Game 2 in Tampa. Tampa's a heavy favorite tonight. 2 ways to look at this. You can be happy with your split and go home, and you've got home ice, and Bell Center's going to be rocking. Or you can put the throttle down here. You can really put some doubt in Tampa's room if Montreal comes out and finds a win tonight.
And Tampa's got injuries, right?
Hedman's not going to play.
Yeah, it sounds like he's not going to play for a while. The kid, Dastus, he got hurt.
He got hit. I didn't think that was a penalty. We never got into it.
That was crazy. That was like a Malachi crunch, and he just kind of went awkwardly. And
yeah.
Some of the calls, guys, I'm telling you, it's amateur
I didn't like
hour.
that one. Like Anderson, he's not responsible for what his teammates doing in open ice effectively. I get it was behind the net, but it was a big hit, man. And Anderson had a growl on the other night. Like he was.
Wow. When he wants to play, he's dangerous because he's such a big guy.
Flying in there too, like that.
Yeah,
that was a big hit, man. But he's a playoff performer.
What did you call it? A Kamachi crunch or
Malachi crunch? You don't remember the Malachi crunch? I don't know. It was some old stupid TV show.
Is that a wrestling move?
I don't know what it was. It might have been from Happy Days or something, man. Somebody tweet in and say what the Malachi crunch
I've never heard of that one before. That's
I guarantee you one of our listeners who's like a wrestler or something like will have a move.
Yeah, it might be like, it's either old school wrestling or like an old school television show.
Stampede Wrestling.
Yeah.
That was a big hit. But you're right. If he's not playing, then, Tampa's in one. And Vasilevsky's going to have to play well tonight. But this is where Dobish, he gave up 3 the other night, but I thought he played pretty well in the first period. I thought he was great the other night. And this is the goaltending conversation we always have. A goalie can step in there and say, we're winning tonight, boys. Like, we're going home up 2-0. No,
That's the plan,
I'm not giving up anything tonight.
That is the game plan going in there. Like Marty St. Louis' message will be, we got to try to just take a cut out of these guys tonight.
Yeah. Because
they're battle tested, they're winners, and even if they go up 2-0, this Tampa's going to have something to say in Game 3. But you build as big a lead as you can against those guys.
Absolutely.
We always talk about growth and taking a step and learning lessons and this and that. They'll show you if they've kind of learned and have grown. They're with their approach tonight. Like if they go out there and kick ass and are dominant, maybe they're for real and they mean business this year.
Big time. Big time.
They looked good game 1.
Yeah, they sure did. Happy Days is where that's from.
Franklin sent a note.
Malachi Crunch.
I used to watch Happy
heard
Days.
of that.
Like,
Dude,
I'm old
it's
enough
sick,
to watch
the
that.
Malachi Crunch. I don't even know what the hell it is. It's probably some kind of knuckle sandwich.
It says it's from the Malachi brothers, so they must have been street toughs or something that Fonzie hung out with. I don't know.
Okay.
I got to go back and Happy Days is so dated.
That's a long
That's
time
my
ago.
era, guys. I'm older than you guys. That's my era. I grew up watching Gilligan's Island and Happy Days, and what was the other Archie Bunker? What was that? Whatever that show
I know what
was,
you're
All
talking
in the
about.
Family. Those were crazy shows. Sanford and Son.
Oh yeah,
all of them back in the day.
Punky Brewster and the whole crew.
Stinky old Punky.
Remember Punky? Well, because what's his name was Bob Uecker was in that show, I think.
Oh, Punky Brewster. There was. Remember Gary Coleman was in a show.
Yeah, Gary Coleman was in something. What was he again?
Conrad Baines was the guy. That show had problems. That show, the people, like the actors and actresses in that show, they had some problems. Like I believe a few of them have died and all of that. That's not good. But
the Brady Bunch. We could come up with a bunch of old school ones.
Yeah, Three's Company.
All right, Dreg's coming up. We've got Johnny on the show today. Confirmed tonight in about an hour. Like, where are we at with the least pursuit of a GM? There's reports out there Kevin Adams might start talking to the Vancouver Canucks.
Well, hang on a sec, Hayes. Like, did Toronto just bypass Kevin Adams, the team that won the division, and they just said he's not it's not cool enough, it's not analytical, like they just didn't even give him an interview?
Doesn't sound like it, but maybe Dregs has a different answer, and he's an alumni,
I'd love to
right?
ask him. He played for the Leafs.
He played for the Leafs. He could walk in an alumni jacket.
Dude, he put together the team that won the division, and they don't even give him a call because they're just smarter than everyone else, and they got all these brain surgeons in there.
Would you?
It's so stupid.
And be serious. If you were in pursuit of a GM job and you were an alumni, would you show up in the alumni jacket for the interview?
Absolutely.
I think it actually. People are going to think I'm joking. I think it would be a brilliant play. Like, you show up in the alumni jacket and you say, this is how invested I am. I played for the team. I love the team. I want the team to do well.
See,
I wear this with pride.
I just need to tell you, I made my alumni jacket when I was a bit of a monster. And
now it's a car cover.
No. When you're a monster, you've got so much back fat that your arm – I'm serious – that your shoulders go up like this and the arms seem like way longer. And when you start losing weight, you got to get the arm length fixed. I'm going to wear the alumni jacket on Monday because I'm getting the arms
Are they
fixed.
like the sleeves past your hands then type of thing? Like,
Okay.
Oh, yeah, well, because when you're your neck grows like, you know those monsters with those giant
Yes.
necks? Like,
Yes.
that's what happens. And when you start losing weight, your neck shrinks, so you got to shrink the arms.
I
Yeah,
got to
you
be
do?
honest.
Okay, I got you.
I got to be honest, though. The next GM, and this is just a personal thing, the next GM for the Maple Leafs should be somebody who has nothing to do with the city of Toronto or have played for them or whatever. Matt Sundin, that's a different story. You bring in legacy players that could help. But we've seen too many times that tied to grew up here, all of that. It should be somebody who is a sociopath who doesn't care about anything other than just making the organization right.
Okay.
That's the way I look at it.
Fair enough, Paul.
It should be somebody that
interesting
has
thought.
an
Yep.
outside view of the city, not is in love with the city. And yes, you're passionate about it, but to me, this should be a business transaction, not somebody who has ties to the city.
But
Okay.
there's also some things that are just right in front of your face, Jamie. His
I get
team
it.
that he put together just won the division, and they look pretty good. And he's out there, and you don't even give the guy an interview to hear what he has to say? Like, what am I missing here? How
No, I
dumb are
get it.
these people?
Well, yeah, again, unless they're interviewing people we're not aware of, the names that are floating around, and we'll get into this with Dregs, it does seem like they're trying to do what Noodles is suggesting. Find someone who's completely detached,
Right.
someone that needs a fresh start or give it an opportunity. It goes against conventional wisdom here that this is too big of a job for someone that's raw. And we'll see. I mean, ultimately, the next 2 or 3 weeks cannot be overstated how important they can be for the organization. You've got to hire the right people, and the lottery balls could fall one of two ways. Like, they literally, in 2 weeks, you could have a great hire in the first overall pick. I understand there's other issues, clearly, but if you get the right hire and you win a lottery, okay, let's see what you can do with that. Like, it opens up the door for some opportunity here into the future. So Darren Dreger coming up, Mike Johnson in just over half an hour. OverDrive continues, TSN 1050 and up on YouTube Live.
Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, OverDrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line to the final score. Got 4 games in the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight, and a bunch of GM vacancies still out there. There's our TSN hockey insider, Darren Dreger. What's happening, Dregs?
Oh, just getting ready for another barn burner or 3 tonight, right?
Okay.
Montreal, Tampa Bay. It's going to be exciting. Not the hockey. O-Dog and I talked about it on the podcast earlier today. I mean, the pace has been terrific. Ooh. The entertainment value has been there. There hasn't been a whole lot not to like. I mean, we always start to pick on the officiating, right? And the video review process, as we saw last night in the Ottawa-Carolina game. But beyond that, man, the hockey's been rock solid.
Dregs, is there any, is anybody going to be looking at last night saying we need to take a look at that, like from the league side? Or is it just one of those things that was somewhat confusing? It's a part of the game, and that's just the way it goes? Like, do you think anybody from the league was like, I don't know if we can continue to have this?
Like the offside call you're talking about in overtime? Yeah.
The offside and all that went with it.
Well, look, I mean, I don't know this, so I'm not going to state it as fact. This isn't reporting. I'd be surprised if Tom Dundon, the owner of the Carolina Hurricanes, didn't make some inquiries. I mean, well,
now that his team's won, he may loosen it a little bit.
A little bit.
They lost.
It went his way in the end.
Yeah.
But it is an area of concern that, look, I would say hockey operations, Colin Campbell, the head of hockey ops, shared when that offside review was instituted many, many years ago. Okay, be careful what we wish for here, because we're going to have no choice other than dissect it to a millisecond, what fraction of a centimeter, whatever description you want to use. The challenge that I would have and had last night in watching that is, you've got the great experience that they have in that situation, but in the end, it's kind of a judgment call too, right? You're looking at the areas of criteria that constitute offside, okay, possession, control, all of that. And the issued statement from the Situation Room was, according to the rule book, their interpretation was that Jordan Staal didn't have control of the puck. how do we know what Jordan Stahl's level of control is? I mean, we're talking about, top-end players here, right? Now, if that's Connor McDavid or Nikita Kucherov or an elite skilled player, not that Jordan Stahl isn't a skilled player, but how do we know what their level of control is and exactly in the moment what's going on between their hands and their ears in trying to make that play? And then you get into the time sensitivity of it all too, right? Like, I mean, what were we talking here?
Well, it took a while, and for exactly after the play had already been in, like there was a semi-breakaway that got a penalty shot called on it, and then they recycled the whole thing. Yeah. And my issue has always been they lose sight of the fact that it's entertainment. That's the business you're in, and there's an OT winner, the place goes nuts, and then you review it and call it back. It's not good for business. Yeah. It's just not, and I understand why GMs want it, and that's every GM we've ever talked to said, I want the calls to be right. Good for you. You don't own the league. Like, of course, GMs want it. This is where it's the responsibility of the commissioner and the owners to say what's for the best, what's in the best interest of the product. And I don't believe the product was served properly last night.
But you know what the flip side is, right? And we're reminded of this by the commissioner's office, by Colin Campbell, everybody involved in this decision-making is, okay, if we get it wrong, you guys in the media, myself included, are going to murder us through this process. If that goal stands and Ottawa finds an offside after the fact. I mean, okay, granted, in this situation, call it the way that they did. Issue the challenge so that they have a look at it. Credit in the process to them determining that there may have been offside on the play. But that's why they go through that process as painstakingly as they do, because if they get it wrong, we're going to be the first to call them up.
Yeah, sure. But get it right then. It's simple. Like, expect your officials to get it right.
It is true. But, they do a really good job. The hardest part is they're doing it in real time, and then you go back and it's 5 to 8 minutes, and some of the fans, I guarantee you, were in their cars thinking that they
were out of there.
Now, would they let them back in? That's the interesting part. Like, there's probably people that were pissed going, I want back in.
Probably not.
No, usually that's generally the policy. When you're out, you're out.
And you know what those people like that work at the rinks, like that get the vest, they're going to have a power trip going, no. I guarantee you there will almost be a few fist fights. But, Dregs, I wanted to go to the GM search. That's probably been the biggest hot topic throughout the league outside of the great games going on.
Right.
Kevin Adams' name being floated out there. I wouldn't say household names that have been linked to the Toronto Maple Leafs. What do you make of all of what's going on here?
Well, let's start with what we know. And I think it was The Athletic who first reported that Kevin Adams has permission to speak with the Vancouver Canucks. Buffalo granted that permission. And that's confirmed. That's real. And that makes a lot of sense. There's history between Jim Rutherford, who's still in charge, and Kevin Adams. And as we watch the Buffalo Sabres make their way through the first round of the playoffs, how do you look at their year and not give Kevin Adams credit for finally putting together a team that can win, not just in the regular season? Granted, there's a lot of hockey ahead, including tonight against the Boston Bruins. But it's a wide net that they've thrown out there from Vancouver's perspective. So there you've got a general manager with a level of experience. I'm sure there are other experienced guys, but they're talking to AGMs. They're talking to other relatively inexperienced guys. They're looking internally. They've got Ryan Johnson there. I wonder about Dale Talon, who's associated with the Vancouver Canucks in some capacity, if not GM. So they're interviewing already in Vancouver, and I think they're going to begin the in-person process as early as next week. In Toronto, man, I don't think we want to go down that path yet again. There doesn't seem to be a clear-cut favorite. There's a media favorite, and that guy's name is Mike Gillis. We've all kind of anointed him as the quote-unquote front runner, but yet they continue to interview people. Now, you bring Gary Roberts and others through, as they did this week. You're not looking at those guys. Matt Sundin last week. They're not general managers or presidents, but they can have a voice, and they can perhaps occupy a position within the bigger framework of hockey operations. My understanding is Ryan Martin interviewed this week with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I think he's also interviewed or is interviewing in Nashville. So those are some of the fresh names, I suppose, we can add to the mix there in Toronto.
Darren, how do you balance the idea of bringing in a relatively unknown type of executive, because Brian was discussing it earlier, it might have been Jamie, how it might be just better to have somebody fresh as opposed to a former player, somebody with a name. Like, that could work out, and that might be a little bit more forgiving for the fans if things don't work out. But it also could be risky if things don't work out. People are going to go above that and say, what the hell were you thinking hiring that guy?
Yeah, so as you're asking the question, this is what comes to mind. Brad Treliving is a general manager with a wealth of experience. Let's call it that. I mean, beyond the days in Calgary, he was an AGM with Arizona for a long period of time, right? So he worked his way up the ladder. When they cut Brendan Shanahan loose, my understanding is that there were certain situations where at times Treliving maybe was a bit overwhelmed. Not by the hockey side of things, right? Again, he's a general manager. He's worked in the trenches. He's managed drafts, trade deadlines, free agency, all of that stuff. But I think it's not just the Canadian market. When you're running hockey operations for the Toronto Maple Leafs, that's an entirely different beast. It's not one of 32 general manager jobs.
In which way? Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, because you're if you don't have that go-between, and I guess in this case it can be Keith Pelly, but normally it's somebody, again, with a high level of hands-on hockey experience like a Shanahan, right? You look at the Montreal Canadiens. Jeff Gorton still likes the juice, but he gets a little bit of that as head of hockey operations in Montreal. But he's got Ken Hughes, who's got multiple layers of skill sets there that he can lean on, but he's doing something different that Gorton isn't doing. And Ken Hughes doesn't have to deal on a day-by-day basis with Jeff Molson, the owner, right? In strong Canadian markets, that business aspect is a challenge because, if you're an owner, if you're a member of the Rogers Brain Trust here, right? Of course you want to have a say. You don't want to have a say on who's on the power play or what trade should be made or not made, but you want to be in tune, right? But what if you have a suggestion? Shouldn't that suggestion go to the head of hockey ops, and then that person can filter that away from the general manager unless it's legit and it's something that, hey, you know what, that's not a bad idea, I'm going to pass that along. It's a difficult one. It was hard at times for Treliving, so I find it more difficult to appreciate how difficult it would be on a guy with far less.
Do you get the impression that Keith Pelly and Rogers are aware of that? In other words, are they going to hire two people here to make sure that they rectify those problems?
Not initially.
Because ultimately, they're the ones that need to know that.
Correct.
If there's an issue here.
Not initially. That wasn't the plan. Isn't the plan. But, again, if we want to give at least some credibility to the process, and it has been exhaustive. Like Pelly and company have talked to how many people, I'm sure it will be disclosed, when the process is over and they've hired their general manager. Maybe they've realized through this process that, okay, well, this candidate was really, really good. We feel strongly about that person being the general manager. But then we've got Mike Gillis over here. Again, he seems to be the media favorite, and lots of reporting on him actually wanting to be the overseer. Well, that makes some sense, too. So initially, we didn't want to hire both. Call it whatever it is. I mean,
whatever the label
president,
is.
whatever the label is, it doesn't matter. But maybe they've learned in this process that, okay, well, maybe we do need that as long as whoever that overseer is can work shoulder to shoulder with Keith Pelly.
Because self-awareness is, I think, that's the first step that needs to happen here.
Yeah.
Like from ownership, Pelly, the board, et cetera, determining, what is in the best interest of the whole hockey operation. And, with Gillis, we've been saying it collectively, the three of us, for weeks. I don't understand where his name came from. I don't. He hasn't been in hockey in 12 years.
Dude, how did he pop out of the sky and just become this guy?
I don't remember. Has he been interviewed elsewhere for other openings over the last decade? I know we hear Chiarelli's name all the time, and we hear, we'd joke about Fergie. Hey, John Ferguson's coming in. Yeah. I don't recall the last time it was like, man, Gillis, it's between this guy and Gillis 6 years ago in this town. Like, how did this happen? Where, does he know Keith Pelly somehow? Does he?
Well, I think you got to know him. And true or not, I heard that there were discussions well in advance of Treliving being let go between Pelly and Mike Gillis. Now, I'm sure that Mike has interviewed in other vacancies between now and his time with the Vancouver Canucks. And not as public, not as under the microscope as the Toronto job would be for a myriad of different reasons. I guess the question that I have, though, is why hasn't he been hired?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And now I do know, and again, I talked about Ken Hughes, and we often look at Bill Zito because now he's a decorated general manager with back-to-back Stanley Cups. But,
right.
If I'm Pelly or I'm ownership, I'm the Rogers Group, I have no problem looking at, again, a layered executive, right?
Yes.
You look at Billy Zito, he's a lawyer, was a high-profile player agent. He went through management training in management with Columbus under the tutelage of Jarmo Kekalainen, and then became a general manager. So he can lean on many different things. Well, Mike Gillis has a lot of that, including a former playing background, right? So I have time for the skill set, the resume of Mike Gillis, but I just don't understand why he hasn't had a job in a decade.
Well, yeah, 12 years.
Over a decade.
And furthermore, how he leapfrogged every executive currently in the NHL, and he's up for the most sought-after position in hockey.
Yeah.
How's that possible?
Oh, you know what? Look, again, I'm not trying to devalue Mike Gillis because
I'm not either. It's just curious to me. He pops up out of nowhere.
He kind of, but again, we go back to that media availability where Pelly made it abundantly clear how heavy he believes in analytics and data. And you do go back to the time of Mike Gillis in Vancouver where he was ahead of his time, right? All the sports science that the Canucks leaned on, the sleep studies and all of that stuff. I mean, teams weren't, if they were doing it, they were doing it somewhat quietly, right? Sure. But he made it seem like he was way ahead of the game, and this is direction in the future.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And that's great. He's a mad scientist, and he was way ahead of his time. Okay?
Yeah.
The team went to the finals 1 year. Other than that, what does this guy have in his resume where you can put the two together and say, that's why you got to get this guy and all of his data solutions and everything? I can say that I do experiments with smoke and bubbly stuff in my garage, but if I don't do anything with it, who gives a rat's ass?
Yeah. Here's a question that I'll put to everybody, though. Is there anybody, and it's an honest question, is there anybody out there that fits the exact bill that we're all talking about, the experience, and what you're talking about, like what has the guy done? So if Doug Armstrong was unemployed, maybe that's the guy. But is there anybody out there that fits every check mark? If you've got a five bucket list,
well,
like
not necessarily that's unemployed, but like, have they looked into poaching anybody?
That's exactly what I would do.
Like if you're the Leafs, like can you not?
It's tampering, isn't it?
But they did it with Burke back in the day. I mean, it's a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm out of here and I'm going to Toronto. I mean,
you'd have to do it above board. You'd have to seek permission and speak to those candidates if you were given permission. But look, I appreciate. I think it was Jonas wrote about the guys that they should go after. And I think, who was it? Kelly McCrimmon, Julian Brisebois, and who am I missing?
Yeah, maybe Bill Zito. I mean, exactly.
And I get it.
Of course.
But, for me, it's somewhat a show of the arrogance of Toronto.
Yeah.
Why would any of those guys, aside from, and I will say this, because Brad Treliving is living proof. Brad Treliving knew there were going to be challenges. Even, he came in under the leadership of Brendan Shanahan. But there is something about the reality of potential in becoming that general manager to lead this team to another Stanley Cup championship.
Yeah, it's the white whale.
That is intoxicating for all of these executives.
Absolutely.
It is. Because other than that,
why would you leave Tampa or Vegas or Florida? Exactly.
No. Yeah.
Exactly. 100%. Yet it is the white whale of the league, and maybe the money. Possibly it's more up here. Anyway, we'll see.
Yeah.
One of these days we'll have a resolution. They'll hire a few people.
Sooner than later.
All right, Dregs. Good seeing you. Darren Dreger, our TSN Hockey Insider. Confirm or deny coming up. OverDrive continues up on YouTube Live. All right, MJ and Confirmed coming up. The Jays with a big win last night. Jeff Hoffman, our boy, with 3 Ks in the ninth to close out the game last night.
Yeah, I can't. I love Schneids, but he said it about Little. He's got to stop going back to the well and saying, "I trust this guy more than anybody." No, you don't. No, you don't. It's not possible, man.
It's not possible, but he's going to say it publicly. He's going to.
But just be a little bit more honest. Like, this guy's got to just get the job done for us, and that's all he needs to focus on.
Good night last night. It's one night. Good night last night. Varland's been outstanding. Rogers was good again last night. Like, if they can get Hoffman going, easier said than done. But if he can start throwing strikes and getting out of jams, Varland, Rogers, Hoffman as a real opportunity to close out games. Like, if that's your 7th, 8th, 9th inning in high leverage, you might have something there.
Cease was good.
Cease was phenomenal. 12 Ks last night.
He looks like Wyatt Earp.
Dude, he's got a wild look and vibe. Like, just a wild look and vibe, and he's just out there. He's got a Big Lebowski vibe to him, and he's just out there throwing heat. Like, his stuff is so nasty.
Yeah, he's got that little tuck and hide move where it's effective. I think I watched him when I first put eyes on him. I think he was with the White Sox. And I was like, this guy's nasty, man.
Yeah.
And he is nasty. I love watching him pitch.
He's always had great stuff, and he stays healthy. He just, when he gets off the beaten path, it's trouble, right? You start throwing, if you miss the zone, you're in trouble, and that's been his issue in the past. But this year it is not. He has been phenomenal. He has been so good. Gosman's been good. And we'll see what the Jays have in store tonight back in L.A. The Raptors coming home for Game 3 again. Ugly last night. We'll get into that into the next hour. NFL Draft later in the week. OverDrive continues up on TSN4 and YouTube Live.
This is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Come on in, friends. Hour 2, OverDrive.
Come on in, friends. I like that.
I wanted to start on the camera because I was going to go, come on in, friends. Hour 2, OverDrive.
Come on over.
Yeah.
Come on over here. Just like Mr. Rogers with his little tickled trunk.
Come on over. Everyone come on over and hang out.
Guy's a creep. You don't want that.
Boys, we got to figure out what we're doing for the second installment of hashtag data-driven overdrive with Mike Johnson. What do you want to know about this?
This or data. Number? This or data with MJ. Yeah, that's coming up in about 5 minutes. We got confirmed
JP,
later in the hour.
did you keep that clip of Marty when he said, I don't know what the hell he said.
Yeah, he kind of did like a player thing. Like, he
said, this is this or that, hashtag, I don't know what he did.
I know. Did you guys ever do that when you were players for local stations? Like, hey, it's Jamie Noodles McLennan. You're listening to Hayes in the Afternoon on Classic Rock in Calgary or whatever. You guys did that sometimes?
Dude, there was a guy in Carolina. He was a diehard fan. He ran the rock station, and his name was Chopper Harrison.
He
was that guy who he created these relationships where it was like, and then it turned into after every game, like 15 like dark and dirties, and like I'm talking, he's the godfather of Rick Breath after a game.
Oh yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if back in the early days in Carolina there was he found some kind of smoking room. And this guy would peel in the locker room, and it would just be hugs and great game. You were awesome. And the voice sounds like it was raspy, like Chopper Harrison.
What a handle. And you know his name was like Jerry Schwartz or something.
Rick.
Or Rick Williams and
he had
Chopper Harrison.
The hair is exactly what it what you'd think it would be. It was like a curled perm and then a rat kind of like back long, like it was. Yeah, he looked like he was in the band Van Halen. Chopper Harrison,
and he loved Van Halen, and he loved Zeppelin, and he just.
Doogie, try to find a picture. He passed away, unfortunately. Try to find a picture of Chopper Harrison.
Okay, so he was like the rock voice of North Carolina.
Yeah, and he loved he was probably. Like shoving shit down. Oh, stuff down.
Chopper. Are you kidding me?
Shoving stuff down people's throats about the Canes because he was like, we've got there's a cane coming up at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and people listening were like, we don't want to
So you do interviews with Chopper Harrison?
Oh, yeah. I remember, me and Ronnie Francis went in and sat with Chopper and did, an extensive interview.
No way.
On rock radio.
That's great. And then, because, with music radio, it's maybe you got 3 minutes in between songs and commercials, right?
You're not doing
quick.
Extensive stuff.
No, it's hey, the moon. Hey, we got the weather today. Here's Jeff O'Neill. What do you think of the game tonight? All right, here's Van Halen on classic rock. That's it, and you're.
That's
in
what
and
it would
out.
be. What do you think of the game tonight? You guys gonna win? Yeah, we're gonna kill them. Thanks a lot. Here we go.
I love it. Though.
That's so good.
Those shock jocks and morning shows and all morning jungle. I remember we played Detroit in the playoffs when I was St. Louis. And you know how the morning shows would try and mess with you, they would mess with the hotel, they would call the hotel room.
Definitely.
They called Grant Fuhr's room morning of a game at 6 o'clock in the morning. He answered and did a 30-minute interview with them.
I love that.
In Detroit.
Happy
we were
to.
playing for St. Louis. He didn't care.
Yeah, happy
He
to.
was laughing about it.
Happy to. No problem. Whatever you need. Whatever you got. Yeah, it's so good, man. Because you used to be able to do that more with, when there wasn't caller ID, you'd just call people and they'd answer. You'd actually have people that would answer calls.
Absolutely. Guys, before we talk to Mike Johnson, I want Marty Brodeur, I'm having a tough couple minutes.
Man, you got to
here.
watch yourself.
Swearing
And Marty Brodeur's.
Marty Biron, kick off our new analytics segment.
Yes.
Welcome, everyone, to This or Data.
All right, there's Mike Johnson. Johnny, that's pretty good stuff, right? Pretty good production level here. Uh-oh, and then it's Mike.
Now
we can't hear him. There he is.
No.
We got you. Now we got you. Go ahead. Continue.
What's going on?
Continue.
What's the matter?
What's going on? We got you.
Yes.
This or data.
All right.
This or data.
This or
How we
data. I was
feeling
saying,
this
spare no
afternoon?
expense. Marty Biron is a big star, or Marty Brodeur. I'm going to try not to swear. I think got that all out of our system last time. Unbelievable.
Yep.
Just casually, just dropping these words. Now,
yeah.
Dis or data. I'm doing some data. Whole question for the crew here. What is a more annoying afternoon? Because I did both this afternoon. Dentist or taxes?
Dentist.
Tough afternoon.
Depends on what you're getting at the dentist. If you're going through a real operation, that is very punishing. If you're root canals, you've got a bridge issue. If it's just a standard, cavity or cleaning, then I would say taxes is more painful, because if you miss something, you're in trouble, right?
Yeah.
The dentist isn't going to get you in trouble. The CRA is going to come knocking. That's a very different story.
That is true. But, last time I was at the dentist, they told me they were just going to do a routine thing. And then, remember, I looked like I had a stroke. They had frozen everything, and I couldn't talk, and I was swollen. They did some sort of bridge or something. I didn't even know about it. They didn't even tell me about it.
Well, they got to tell you what's going on. They just you can't have that kind of.
They did not tell me. They just started operating. And I barely made the
Just
show.
rummaging
My
around
face
in
was
there.
Yeah, that's I'm not sure they're
I was
qualified
Kramer
to do
with
that.
Mel Torme. That's what I was.
right.
I was trying to sing.
Mel Torme.
It was
I
How
love
long you been on your own?
So, Johnny, what kind of data do we have from the
what numbers are sticking out in the playoffs, Johnny? Who's dominating because of numbers? Give us something to chew on.
Okay, interesting. I think a lot of people might be surprised. Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. Philly up 2-0. Pitt had this great year. I talked to you guys about Pittsburgh being the number one 5-on-5 goal-scoring team since January. But what people don't realize, when it comes to chances, low event, expected goals, high danger chances against, Philadelphia, surprisingly good. And in this series, it's basically Philly defense versus Pittsburgh offense. And right now, when Pitt's sitting there halfway through a game with 6 shots, 8 shots, whatever it is, it's the defense and the underlying numbers, that I know you are well aware of the Flyers and how good Talk has them playing without the puck. It's surprising because you don't think necessarily of them as a defensive juggernaut, but when you watch them play, you call their games, you look at their numbers, they can slow the game down to a grind. And when they play it that way, it has advantaged them over Pitt.
Johnny, just before we get into the Canadian teams and what they're doing, that Porter Martone at the juniors, did you sniff this out at all? Because I didn't. You were sitting about 200 yards away from me at a different vantage point. I didn't see it.
No. That same year we played juniors, he played at the World Championship. And he was like an extra guy, and he played like 2 games at the end. And in those 2 games, I said to Gordon, I'm like, he's better at this tournament than he was at the juniors. He was really pretty, for a guy that was, maybe contending for first overall. He wasn't great at the World Junior, and maybe that system or whatever was going on that year, but maybe he's just a guy that plays better with men. And I think, if you think about Porter Martone's game, what little we see of it, he's not a guy who's going to blaze you up and down the ice and beat you on transition. And in the World Juniors, a lot of that game is transition chances, rush chances, because guys make mistakes, you take off down the ice and you score. That's not really his game. His is like cycle, crafty plays. He's Matthew Tkachuk. He's a new age Matthew Tkachuk. Maybe not quite that good, but like that style of player where he's not fast. He's just got great hands. 2 games, 2-game winners, 10 points in 9 regular season games. He had about 40 shots in 10 games. Like every number you can think of for this guy since he turned pro is through the roof good. So you think why Philly's different too, right? Martone comes in late, as well as Tyson Forster, who missed most of this year, who's a pretty good player as well. You dump those 2 guys in a lineup that's whirling well, played well down the stretch, and now that looks like they're going to get to the second round.
That Martone could totally bypass Michkov as like their go-to guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. For fun.
Yeah.
So, Johnny, what is it that Philly's doing a great job or Pittsburgh's not doing a good enough job? Because Crosby looks like frustrated and Philly's right in their face. I mean, Vladar's made a couple of real good timely saves, but outside of that, it's been the Philly show. And Philly is really, like you say, defensively really blanketed them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give Philly credit because it's the playoffs. Pitt's doing their best. They're trying their hardest. I wonder sometimes, though, Noodles, when you watch Sid, like I know he's frustrated. They're all over him. I wonder how healthy he is. I wonder if that knee, like when he stops and starts, he's not getting the same sort of separation that he wants to. But I give Philly the credit. I mean, they're playing very well. Always guys back, clogging up the neutral zone, not giving off the rush. So Philly's got to find answers, though. Like they were a team that got up and down, attacked with pace. They're not getting any pace out of their own end through the neutral zone, and they're not getting any offense because of it.
With Mike Johnson. So in terms of that, job that Tockett's doing, obviously we talked about the Leafs all year. Can't defend, give up everything. Like you look at Zegras there, you look at young guys, Michkov, Martone's a kid. I mean, these are forwards. Obviously, the defense is going to have to factor in, but it's not like they have the, 70s Habs defense back there either. Like, isn't that another example of like the coach is the one that's going to drive home the performance of the team? Like players got to follow suit, but if you get your message across and demand it's played a certain way, you can have this level of success.
Yes, except they don't score well either, though, Hayes, right? Like, that's the flip side. It's not like they can do both. They can defend excellent, but they don't score well. So, you can get guys to buy in. Listen, I mean, Austin Matthews is the best player in the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's a good defensive player. Plays well defensively. So, but all the rest of the stuff, you're right. Like, you should, as a coach, if you're not worried about scoring, be able to turn any group of NHL players, or just about any group of NHL players, into a good or at least average defensive team. And the Leafs were never that this year. So they no. And maybe the conversation might not be, could he do it? I'm not sure if did they ever try to pivot and say, well, listen, maybe we got to try something totally different. Like, let's lock it down for a bit. Let's see if we can just become something different, because the way we're trying it, it's not working. And then maybe we have to switch something up. Maybe that's the bigger conversation. I'm not sure if they tried to play like Philadelphia at times this year. But yeah, like they don't have a great defense. But they do have a lot of good forwards. Like whether it's Noah Cates or Couturier or Glendening or Forster or Bobby Brink when he was there. Like they had a lot of good defensive forwards that could also sort of chip in to go along with the Michkovs and the Zegrases who don't. But yeah, I mean, watching any team that's good defensively, only makes the teams that are bad defensively look worse.
Absolutely. Better chance of going up 2-0 tonight, Buffalo or Montreal?
Oh, Buffalo, for sure.
Oh,
for sure.
Whoa.
Not that I don't believe in Montreal. I just think, Tampa's certainly much better than Boston. And I just think the Bruins will really regret not getting game one, because the Bruins are carried by some great players. Pasta, Geeky, Zaka was pretty good, McAvoy's great, and Swayman. So they have some really great players, but they don't play a great team game, and they know it. You talk to people around the Bruins, like, we get outshot, we get outchanced, or we go against the run of play, but we have these great difference makers that can win games for us. So, hey, I'm thinking Buffalo, second time through the jitters. Can you expect Swayman to stand on his head for 36 of 39 again? I don't think so. Not against that offense. So, yeah, I think Buffalo, good chance. Montreal, it'll be tough because Tampa is such a game opponent that it's going to be tough to get both down in Tampa to start the series.
Would you say the Bruins are kind of like a fatter guy with skinny jeans on, where you look at it and you're like, not bad. But it's just...
It's not good enough, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Not bad, but not... They're trying hard.
If he bends over to tie his shoe, you see what's really under there.
Yeah, when you look under the hood, they're like the nice body package on it, but a bad engine. They got sweet rims, but a terrible 2-cylinder in there. Yes, that's kind of what they are. And they know it. That's the thing. They're not going to... They know that's what they're good at and what they're not. And... nothing's easy. It's the playoffs. Nothing will be easy, but I just don't know if the rest of their lineup carries play enough to complement the other good guys against a team that's really pretty good in Buffalo, who I think gets better. Like, I think Buffalo gets more comfortable. I think the hype and the excitement probably hurt them in the first game. Like, it was such a buildup. Pulling up in these old school cars, and Rick Jenneret's wife banging the drum, and the crowd ready to go crazy, tables breaking everywhere, the whole outdoor festivities, and then like the pressure to kind of live up to that. I don't think they have to deal with that anymore. They may be freed up to play even better game 2 and going forward.
So, Johnny, the Carolina-Ottawa game last night, I mean, what do you make of Ottawa? We talked about the replay, all of that type of stuff. I mean, we all thought it was an unbelievable game, but unfortunately Ottawa's chasing it now at 2-0.
Okay, quick, I didn't see the first hour. Did everyone agree with the offside call on Jordan Stahl?
No, I didn't even think it was offside.
Noodles?
I thought it was offside, but it's by inches. I mean, again, we don't know he believes he has control of it. Like, that's the thing. Like, we're not in his mind of going.
I thought that was onside.
I just hate the rule. I just hate the rule.
I'm 100% with Jeff O'Neill. Like, these are NHL players. I don't need to touch the puck with my stick to have control of it.
Thank you.
I can handle it on my skates. I can skate away with it. He'd already touched it once, and maybe it wasn't a perfect position, but, like, there's no one near him. He's got the puck.
Remember how Pavel Bure used to just kind of push the puck into an area while he was skating with it? It's like he never had control of it. He kind of would just skate like this, and he'd like shove it a little bit, shovel it. I thought it was ridiculous, man. That was not offside.
Yeah. Well, you don't have – the rule doesn't stipulate you have to have it on your blade. But I think because he only touched it once and never kind of rehandled it on the way across, but I'm like, he's got possession, and that was not – does he have control? To me, he did. To them, he didn't. But anyways, that would have been – can you imagine if Carolina lost that game? Like, how big that story would be, and how we would be dissecting the English language to a point of nausea. Like, it would be awful. And that's sort of the risk you run with these kind of rules. But anyways, as far as the game, Ottawa can't feel good. They're down 0-2. But Ottawa played in that game, the second half of the game, more than good enough to win. And Tim Stützle will be having nightmares until next April.
That post.
Like, he will never in his life, play a game the same he just played and not score. He will never generate those clean looks and not score. He had an empty netter in the first shift of the game. He somehow managed to shoot it off the side of the net. He had, they had all these chances in overtime.
This was
they
the
had
one for
5
me.
Posts.
Brady
Yeah,
in front.
Brady
That
just-
was the
yeah.
best chance of the game, in my opinion.
Well,
I
this
can't
one, too.
believe
This
Freddie
one,
made that save.
this one, it goes, hits the post, goes behind Freddie.
I know, but
No.
I hear they're
Doesn't hit
both
him.
great chances. But Freddie's waiting for him. Like
Yeah.
Freddie had no idea Kachuk was there. It just hit him.
Yeah.
Like he just didn't get
Brady
enough on
needed
it.
another 2 inches higher, and he would have had it in the
Yeah.
back of the net. So I guess what Ottawa would be saying, listen, we got Mantimpalo playing 40 minutes of a double overtime game, and we generated as much or more as that game went along. We got Jordan Spence playing 45 minutes. Like, we have some issues on the back end, and we are right there with them. In fact, we probably should have won that game. So I guess you're trying to tell yourself, do it again, find a way to get off the mat, play in our home building. Timmy will score those goals. Their power play's got to get much better. But, they get the next one and then, try to feel like they're back in the series. But that's a gut punch game. To go that deep, play that well, have your goalie be that good, Noodles, and lose, that's brutal.
That's what O said, and that's not that it wasted, but that performance from Ullmark, that's the best I've seen him play. Like, that's literally the best game I've ever seen him play. I thought he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
One of the best games I've ever seen any goalie play this year. Like, they were, I don't know, you call them 5-alarm, 10-alarm saves, whatever you call them, Noodles.
Yeah.
He must have had 10 to 15 crazy saves. Like, not just, that's not a bad save, but wild saves. And you think about Ullmark, when he's at his best, you don't think of him at all as being athletic in the way he plays goalie. And yet last night he had to be, and he was so good. And I'll say it, totally wasted. He gave you a chance early, made all those saves. Like, you had all those looks yourself. You have to find a way to score more. I mean, Freddie gave you a gift through Dylan Cousins. You thought maybe this is it, but
yes,
they'll just be frustrated. Their overall sentiment will be frustration, disappointment, regret that they shouldn't have done better when they played well enough too.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Like I've liked their game through 2 games. I've liked Carolina's too. Like, it's not that Carolina hasn't been worthy of being up 2-0. Carolina's a really good team, but it could be 1-1. It could be 2-0 Ottawa, but ultimately they're in the position they're in. And I don't think that series is over, but they're in tough now. As for the Edmonton game last night, what do you think Anaheim's thinking? Because they had ample opportunities themselves. Like, they showed up ready to play. Their young guys were flying, and Kapanen kind of steals it with 90 seconds to go. That feels like a bigger gut punch game one than others because of the fact that they're in one against Edmonton on the road. Edmonton's got the history. They've got Draisaitl's back. He looked great.
McDavid didn't get a point.
McDavid didn't have a point and didn't do much. That's not going to continue. What do you make of that outcome last night?
So if I'm putting myself in the Ducks room, I'm like, yeah, of course you're upset. Like, that's a bad loss. But I think they showed themselves, if they had to, or at least us, they're not getting run out of the building. They're not sort of scared of Edmonton. They don't need to back off of Edmonton. Like, their top guys, like, we'll sort of play with them and we'll be fine. I think that's what they would take out of it. But for Edmonton to win, for the first time, I'm sure you guys have said this, the first win this year when McDavid didn't get a point, the first entire season for them to win, that's great news. Jason Dickinson, who barely, I think he scored 1 goal in Edmonton since he got traded, was brilliant in the first goal, was incredible. Radko Gudas, that is some kind of blown tire right here. Whoa!
Yeah.
That is a nasty heel pick at the worst possible time. That's an ACL blowout right there. Somewhere Austin Matthews saying, see, that's what you get for taking out guys' knees. But that one is tough.
Yeah.
But the other part about it, guys, is Leon Draisaitl is a freakazoid. Like, he is a playoff. Like, it's not supposed to be. It's not easy. It's not supposed to be this doable that you could miss. So what do you miss? 6 weeks, 7 weeks,
6 weeks,
and go back, and he's not 100% healthy and be as good as he was. That to me is the best news for Edmonton and the worst news for Anaheim. That Leon looked totally capable of doing whatever he wants to do in the playoffs, like he always does. I wasn't sure if the knee was going to let him or if he had to play with McDavid. He's playing with his own line, but Colson and Kapanen, those guys are not great offensive players. And they were really good. They're the best line for Edmonton in the night. That is reassuring if you're an Oilers fan thinking about we want to go deep again.
Big time. Yeah, that's a message to the whole league. Like, did this guy reset? Did he refresh himself? We'll see if he's running off adrenaline. That's possible last night. We'll see. Maybe he slows down for game 2. I think if you're in Anaheim, you're hoping that. But if Draisaitl's at 100% and now has had a chance to kind of refill the tank, that is a terrifying proposition because he is the definition of a gamer in the playoffs. And I thought he was phenomenal last night. So we'll see. All right, Johnny.
Yeah.
All right. This or data. I love it.
Fellas.
I love where we're at right now.
Hang on, JP. Play it on the way out, too.
Welcome, everyone, to This or Data.
Yes. There you go. All right.
I think it's got a nice ring to it.
It's got a great ring to it.
awesome.
We'll continue this later in the week. Thank you, Johnny.
All right, I need to download that for my ringtone. That would be something.
That would be.
Wow. Can you
That would
imagine
ring out.
if he put that up for sale and said, like, you want to buy this
99
for
cents.
$2.99?
Dis
Yeah,
or
he could-
data.
He would
That
be
is.
big
Money
pimping in Hollywood, that guy.
Yeah. Serious money. Serious money.
Serious.
All right, Johnny, look into that. Let us know how it goes.
Will do, fellas.
See you, buddy. Mike Johnson joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline. Red Tag Days are here. Check out the Toyota Tacoma and Toyota Tundra pickup trucks, both available as hybrids. Visit Maple Toyota right near Canada's Wonderland in the Maple Auto Mall.
This or Data.
Yes, I love it. I love
Love
it.
it.
The Raptors need some dis or data out of that
Well,
Brandon
they need
Ingram. Man,
something.
was he horrendous again last night.
Hang on a sec. I don't know if you know, but the Raptors have great culture.
Oh, yes. Great culture.
You know what I mean? I
Great
love that
culture.
one. Like, I think Keith Pelly mentioned just how great the culture is. He's like, the Raptors do this and the Raptors do that. They got their best player bitching and complaining, and they just got spanked 2 games in Cleveland. How
Yeah.
good's their
Making
culture?
excuses, though. That's the thing. Like, just own it.
Well, he had no points in the first half last night after
Yeah.
what he did in game 1. Like Ingram.
Well, after game 1,
he's-
he was like, yeah, you got to get me the ball. Like, that was what Kawhi said, but Kawhi was a different animal. If you want the ball and you're going to play like that, come on, dude.
You got it. Yeah. And Kawhi would never ask for it because he'd just go get it. He'd take it in game 1. He'd be like, give me the ball. Like, if we're going to lose, we're losing on me. Ingram's not wired that way. They got real problems. I mean, clearly, they may get swept. They're facing that reality right now. Cleveland's got too much talent. The Raptors, Pirtle's unplayable. Quickly's hurt all the time. Didn't play the first 2 games.
Man, he's a Band-Aid.
Always hurt.
Yeah.
Always hurt. And that's
By
the
the
issue.
way, that's one of my favorite Nick Nurse stories. We had that. What would we have, that open forum at the Hall of Fame and that big room in there?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Nick Nurse came, and he was sitting beside me, and he told me, he said, we were having a meeting, and somebody said, we want to have this like open for ideas, because they were struggling offensively and they needed to get it going, and guys would come up and they'd draw all these fancy plays, and if you get me the ball there and we could do this and switch and swing and do this, and a couple of guys went up, and then all of a sudden Kawhi Leonard's hand went up like this, and he said, just get me the bleeping ball and I'll score the ball.
Yeah.
And then that was the end of the meeting.
Yeah. Class
That's it.
dismissed.
And he said from there, things took off. Like, he just put up his hand and said, cut the crap here and get me the ball, and I'm going to score the ball.
Yeah. That's the nature of the NBA. I mean, your best players, they've got to be killers. You know,
Yeah.
it applies to every sport. You've quarterbacks, wide receivers, big bats in the lineup, obviously
I'll tell you-
superstar hockey players. You know,
I'll
they've
tell
got
you
to
what,
drive the
Brian,
bus.
You know what I've gotten a lot lately, and I don't know why. I usually field only like hockey stuff. Oh, did you see that game? People are coming up to me at the gym and they're like, NBA product, even in the playoffs, is garbage. I don't know what's going. They can't watch it anymore.
Too many
like,
blowouts, man.
Yeah.
Dude, they're like, the product in the NBA is they're complaining about it, and I'm like, I ain't even watching, bro, so I don't even know what you're talking about. But that's the complaint I'm getting. It's not even good in the playoffs now.
Yeah, I mean, the first round, there's always a juxtaposition between the Stanley Cup
Yeah.
playoffs and the NBA play. The NBA playoffs get better as it goes
Yeah, they
on.
get better. The NHL kind of.
Dude,
you
what
can
kind of
get
playoffs
injuries.
start with slow?
Well,
Come on,
I
man.
hear you, but there's just talent discrepancy, you know, and there's a sense in the NBA where it's like this team's got no shot and they have no shot. Like Oklahoma City's not losing. San Antonio's not losing in the first round. Like it's just not going to happen. You know, there's going to be some good series. The Knicks might be in one here. You know, Atlanta, we'll see. And Detroit, maybe they're in one. But it's just the nature of the beast. And, there's been too many blowouts early into the playoffs, and that's clearly not the case in the NHL. Confirm or deny coming up. Best bet still to come later in the hour. Jay's back in action against the Angels tonight. OverDrive continues up on YouTube Live.
To OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
I can neither confirm or deny that this is in fact a segment.
Boston trades Andrew Raycroft to Toronto in exchange for the rights to Tuukka Rask.
It's been my honor and a privilege to serve as the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey Club.
It's time for Confirm or Deny.
Do you regret giving all those gentlemen the no trades or no movement clauses?
I can neither confirm or deny that.
I can't confirm or deny.
All right, confirm or deny, brought to you by Boston Pizza, Canada's favorite sports bar. This playoffs BP is summoning the hockey gods to tilt the ice in Canada's favor. Join us and feast like a hockey god on our brand new playoff menu. See you for puck drop at your local BP. All right, you guys ready to rock here?
Yes.
Confirm or deny. Okay, let's start with this one. Confirm or deny. There will be a sweep, at least one sweep in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Come on, dude. Of course there's going to be.
Really?
Someone's going to get
I don't
pumped.
think so.
And,
Okay.
not one sweep? I'll bet you both 500 there'll be one sweep. Anybody interested?
Well, I'm not. I don't think so.
500
I'm not interested in betting on it because I think, Colorado's got a real good chance, clearly.
Hazy, you always stick your hand out.
I do, generally. I do. I mean, there's
I don't know.
Ottawa, I don't think is getting swept. I don't think Pitt will get swept, but it's possible.
I don't think any of these teams are getting swept.
You think LA is going to get a win, Noodles?
Yes. I think that
They are.
What has LA showed you, Jamie? Just say that they're going to get a win. They can't even get the puck.
a goalie steal, that type of stuff.
No way. There's your first sweep right there. Colorado, Los Angeles. They look like they're in different leagues. Sorry, LA Kings
I'll
fans.
bet you $150, not 500. That's
Take it. There you go.
inflation.
I'll bet you $5,000 they get pumped.
He
4 in a
just
row.
offered you something else.
No.
Oh, so
No.
that's beneath you to accept those terms? Okay. How many
You know
sweeps
what,
do
Noodles?
you see?
No,
Noodles.
he's the type of guy that goes, I'll bet you
No, no.
$500, and then you go, then he loses, and you go, I said doll hairs, not dollars.
Right,
like
exactly.
He's that type of stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
semantics.
Yeah.
Semantics. Okay,
It's
how
like
many
the dad
sweeps?
that goes. That's like the dad that goes. You want $20, son? I don't have $10. Ask your mom for $5.
exactly.
But
I
I
don't know.
definitely think there's a sweep for sure.
I'm denying it. I think that at least
Hayes,
these
I
teams
know
will
you're
win.
confirming it, bro. Say it,
I
dude.
lean sweep. I will say I get caught up in it. Like the Colorado Kings one. I could see Colorado winning.
Wow. 3 in a row.
7-1
Yeah.
tonight.
They
Like-
won the series 3-0.
Yeah, I could see it for sure.
All right,
but
all right.
and listen, Pitt, I hope they got some receipts. I hope they got some receipts if they get swept, right? You get to the playoffs, you better have some receipts.
Those
on how-
Penguinos are just so
Oh, yeah,
smart. Yeah, they're
the
just gonna
greatest
get
team
pumped.
in the
Hold on a
history of
second.
civilization.
If they come back and win in 6, this is the clip that
They're
will
going to take
play.
this
Good
one.
for them. I hope
Yeah,
they do
I
it.
hope
I hope they do it.
I hope
Because
they
if they
do.
get pumped in 4, they played 6 days more than everybody else
Yeah.
with their little video they put
You
out.
know they're down there watching, right? It's their favorite
Yeah.
show in Pittsburgh. They love OverDrive down there.
Yeah.
They're sitting there watching. I know what they're doing. I know what they're
Yeah.
up to. I'm going to confirm it. I'll quietly
All
confirm.
right.
I do feel like there might be one. All right, confirm or deny. The Montreal Canadiens will be the favorite to win the East starting next season. Next year, the Habs will be the favorite to win the East.
You know what? I'm going to deny it because I think a healthy Florida team, and when people start getting the clips of them in training camp saying we're coming for blood, it's going to push everybody towards saying, wow, watch out for the Florida Panthers. They're going to be the beast of the East. So I'm going to deny it. But I'll tell you what, they look awfully good, and their patience is paying off.
Wow.
They drafted these guys. They developed them. They didn't rush it. And Michael Fuda, who works at the other network, told me the biggest key for a rebuild is not deviating off the path. You know what I mean? It's like you can't jump at something. Like the Leafs, you could say that they deviated a little bit. They were young. They were bringing these guys up. And you know what? They were driving by a gas station and they saw John Tavares and they said, oh. We got to get off and get a little snack in there that we don't need. And they did it, and they deviated a little bit.
It's like being on a diet, man. Like those chips call your name at 10 p.m. when you're watching the West Coast game.
Oh, like, dude, those chips, they open the drawer above the TV, and they blow kisses at you.
Sour keys
23 sour keys
yelling.
At
They're
you.
whispering, I love you. You look great.
Just a bag of them in the living room.
Just whispering. Sweet nothings in your ear.
Just come get me.
Don't worry about your diet. You don't need a diet. You look great.
Not tonight.
You look too skinny. You need to add. You need to put on weight.
Those sour keys, those bastards had a stranglehold on me, man. A stranglehold.
I know it, dude. I've been there and I've done it. And you're right. Those free agents and the trades and the throwing money around.
Yeah, it's and Montreal hasn't done it.
They haven't done it.
And you could argue that Dobson might be a little bit off the beaten path, but I don't think it is. Wow. I think it was smart, aggressive, and it was still on the highway. It was still on the tracks.
But see, the only thing I would say is I think there's other teams that, if they have a good summer, that could be right there. Oh, your Buffalo Sabres. I heard a story today about your grandpappy taking you down to Buffalo.
I felt bad.
What are you talking about, dude?
I was on.
I
did. Who calls them their grandpappy?
Yeah, like, what are we talking about?
I was on Ray and Dregs, and I said to Dregs, because Dregs was like, "Oh, is Buffalo your team now?" And I said, "Honestly, Dregs, when I was younger, my grandpappy, we couldn't afford to go to Leaf games, and he would drive us down to Buffalo, and he goes, "Oh, I didn't know that. That is awesome.
You must be for that?"
He did, and I said, "But I got to tell you, I'm lying, man. My grandpappy, I didn't call him that, first of all, and we would never go to a Buffalo Sabres game."
Yeah.
My grandpappy.
We're going, get in the car, kiddo. We're going to see the Buffalo Sabres
Your
play.
Buffalo Sabres might be right there,
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I don't know, man. I think the Habs, I am going to confirm this. Like, they have layer after layer after layer of depth. Like, Hage isn't even coming next year.
Well,
it's like, go back to
Reinbacher,
Michigan. Reinbacher
Fowler.
hasn't even played. Fowler, they got Dobish and Fowler as their tandem next year. And you've got, sure, they could add. Oliver Kapanen had a really good year. Is he a number 2 centerman? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Maybe they add there, but they're gonna have cap space coming up. Like Laine's coming off the books. We'll see what they do with Gallagher in the future.
You're right. Like they're a good team
they're in
and
a
just
really
getting
good
better
spot,
and really
man.
well managed. Yeah.
I don't know what Hage, that kind of caught me off guard a little bit. I don't know what guy, and I know Craig, who I really value his opinion, said he's not ready to play in the NHL next year. Seeing what Porter Martone is doing in Philly right now, I might want to have a sniff at it and see what he's going to look like, because he was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So it was a weird, and I think it caught Ken Hughes off guard too, because when he brought it up, it looked like that bugs me a little bit. I don't know. If you have the chance to play in the NHL, aren't you like dying to get to the NHL?
Yeah, I would think so. Keep in mind, there's one thing, if we should have paid attention to the Olympics and to this year period at the NHL. These young kids, they're stepping in and they're being difference makers. They're not just wading their way. We just talked about Seneca. Look at Matthew Schaefer. Look at, throughout the league, these Celebrini, like young players that are 20, 21, they're not overwhelmed by the situation. They're if anything, they're like, yeah, give me the puck, I'll go play. And that's the one thing that maybe this year has pointed out more than any other year that I've noticed.
Well, actually, with that in mind, Joe, I'm going to put you on your toes, because I'm going to fly to this confirm or deny, okay?
All right, what do you
With
got?
what you just threw out there. Confirm or deny, if the Maple Leafs win the lottery and take Gavin McKenna, he'll play for the Leafs next season.
Oh.
Confirm or deny.
You just had to go there, didn't you?
Well, it's possible. Like, they could win it. And if they win it, do you take him, and does he step right in and play? Most 18-year-olds that go first overall step right in and play. He's had an up-and-down year, really good second half at Penn State. He's a winger. He's a skill guy. Does he want to go back to college? The guys that go back are the college guys, right? Owen Power. Hage is different because this is a couple of years past his draft. But confirm or deny, if the Leafs win the lottery and take McKenna, he plays for the Maple Leafs next year.
I'll confirm it just because it's a high-profile first overall pick. And he'll be expected. Like, it's just Toronto's different than everywhere else. Buffalo, it's like, I'm going to go back to – Power's going to go back to college. Yeah, that's probably cool. Here will be like, what the hell's going on? That's a first overall pick. He's got to play.
Well,
it'll be mayhem.
Well, that'll be the expectation who plays with Matthews in the future, right? Like, is that your guy, and is he your winger you've been waiting for since Marner left?
Depends on the direction of the new manager and what he wants to do. Because if they want to do the Montreal model, then they've got to be patient and develop and allow guys to go at their own path. But we just pointed out their own path. A kid might be ready. I don't know if he's ready for the NHL next year. Depends on the organization, too. If there's low expectations, probably step in. If there's high expectations, might be better served to play one more
be careful, Jamie. I said in the first pre-tournament game at the World Juniors, I'm like, he needs to get kind of stronger along the walls if he wants to play at the next level against grown men. And a bunch of donkeys on X were like, after he scored a nice goal in the juniors, they were like, how about that dinosaur O-Dog? He said this guy needs to be stronger along the board. And I'm just like, I can't handle people that have no idea what they're talking about. Can't do it.
You know what? He can. I'm pretty sure he can play next year, but again, what situation? And that's what Brian's pointing to.
That's exactly it.
Is it a high pressure situation like this market? Again, depending on what the new manager is going to do with this roster. Is he going to retool and kind of break it down on the fly? And that would open the door for a young player to step in, or are they going to try and double down and add players here in the offseason to play with Matthews and Nylander?
Right. And is he a depth player in that situation? Is he 10 minutes a night on the fourth line? What is that doing for development?
Exactly.
Can he play in the American League? I don't know exactly what the rules are if he's coming out of college. I know historically you could, but I don't know how that works with him being a WHL product and them looking at changing the rules and allowing your team to have a 19-year-old play in the American League. So we'll see. But listen, this could be a reality. As of now, it's not, but it could be a reality. Same thing in Vancouver. If Vancouver gets the pick and they take him, I would think he probably steps right in. If Calgary gets the pick and they take him, I would think he probably steps right in.
Question for you guys. Are we going to head down the path? Remember, we used to do the draft simulator, and we would said if we get the Leafs, he would do a run around the desk.
Which was a very...
Was it for McDavid or Matthews?
Yes, I think probably for both.
It was for Matthews, I thought.
It was McDavid, too, man. They were in the hunt for McDavid. That was Randy
I don't know
Horacek,
if... I'm sure most people know, maybe some don't, listening. After, the final... When it was the final two teams, the Leafs had the best chance to get McDavid.
For McDavid. Oh, yeah. They were a lottery ball away, and they had 3 of the 9 lottery balls left were going to land. And Edmonton had 1, and it landed on their number. I know, it was so close. But McKenna is just nowhere close to the hype and expectation of McDavid and Matthews.
You never know, though, man. Like that Macklin Celebrini, we all watched him at the juniors, and we said, this guy's going to be a real solid player. Now he's on the cusp of being having the title of the best player in the world.
You're right. Yeah. And listen, Cale Makar went 4th overall.
Yeah.
When he got picked, no one was like, this guy's a lock to be the greatest defenseman of his generation. It was, he's 4th overall. That's interesting. He's a high school kid out of BC. Let's see what he's got.
At the World Juniors in Buffalo, this guy would go on the ice, and he'd score a goal every time he stepped on the ice. And Steve Dryden said to me over my ear, he goes, it's kind of weird how Makar does something amazing every time he steps on the ice, but the coach never plays him because the coach didn't trust him. But every time he was out there, he would jump into the rush and score a goal. Yeah. And then the coach would say, sit there on the bench.
Yeah.
But, dude, you talked about that Seneca, Brian. How about him just not even sniffing the juniors last year?
I know. You look back on it now, you're like, what are you guys thinking? He went third
in
overall.
Ottawa, the juniors, the guy went 3rd overall. He's in the NHL, but he didn't have a sniff at the juniors.
Yeah.
Guys, the progression is weird for some players. Some guys just can't miss prospects. Others, it takes time to develop. And you know what? They get it wrong sometimes, too. Team Canada and the people who select there, good people, but they may make mistakes, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mistakes, they happen, 100%. Last one here. Speaking of which, confirm or deny, Bo Bichette is already regretting his decision to sign with the Mets.
Come on, dude. That's the biggest layup in the history of confirm or deny.
Which one is it? Because I don't know.
Yeah,
Which
I
one?
don't know what the answer.
Or sorry, confirm. He completely regrets signing with the Mets.
$43 million, dude. He's still making the money, but they've lost 11 in a row, and Bichette is just getting destroyed in that market.
Oh,
his numbers are terrible. I mean, Bo has been awful early on in the year, but he's making $43 million.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not much better in Toronto. Let's clarify things. It's not
dude,
like
you
the
can
Jays
throw
are off to a
$43
great
million
start.
bucks at anybody when you're waking up knowing that everybody hates you when you're going to the ballpark. It's not that fun. I get it. You go home and there's cash lying all over the living room, but not that fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, it hasn't been better. If things were better in Toronto, although they've won 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Right? So
we got a bit of a hot streak going here.
Hanging in there.
I'm denying it, though. Yet you look at the 5 highest spending teams in the league. Dodgers and Yankees off to good starts, pretty good starts. Phillies, disaster. Mets have lost 11 in a row. And the Jays, like 3 of the 5 highest spending teams. I get it. It's still April and we're early into the season. But one of the Mets or Phillies are probably going to miss based on this start. Like both of them are dreadful to start the season. And the Jays are in one. And a lot of it is injury related, but still. All right, there you go. Confirm or deny. All right, best bets coming up. We'll look ahead to a busy night in the Stanley Cup playoffs, NBA playoffs. Jays back in action. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on the TSN app.
To OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, best bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. I'm taking the over in the Habs game tonight. I know Vasilevsky historically coming off a loss generally responds, but I just feel like the total's 5.5. I see another 4-3 game tonight. I'm on the over. Got to pay a little bit of juice. Best bets powered by FanDuel. Same game parlays available for every Stanley Cup playoff game on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Please play responsibly. 18 plus, physically located in Ontario.
I took a risk last night. I didn't know how it was going to land, but Walt Tkachuk took a picture with his wife and Matthew Tkachuk. And I sent Walt a text and I said, stop wearing Skechers with jeans out at hockey games.
Did he respond?
Yeah, he thought it was funny. And I was like, man, that one could go either way. Like, you know.
Yeah, he may not love that one.
No.
Yeah. Well, it was
anyway,
good.
Hazy, I got a quick favor for Leafs Nation.
Okay.
And it's kind of weird.
What do you got?
If anybody is in Dubai and coming back to Toronto, shoot me a note. Shoot me a note. I've got a pair of shoes at my buddy's house, Robbie Dobby, in Dubai, and there's some weird stuff going on over there, and he's having trouble getting them over here. If anybody's coming from Dubai to Toronto and you're a Leafs fan, I'll take you to a game next year if you grab my shoes for me.
Your shoes are in Dubai?
I had to buy a pair of shoes in Dubai. I was looking online for them. The only place I could find them was Dubai.
That's so weird, dude.
So what?
Dude, I get it.
They don't have
They're
a
at one of my best
why
buddies.
can't they FedEx that kind of stuff? You can't get...
Because my buddy Robbie Dobby said it's $800 to FedEx them.
Well, yeah, I can understand that from halfway around the world. Okay,
Yeah,
so they're at his place.
Bring the chocolate over. They've got that pistachio Dubai chocolate.
They're not chocolates. They're nice shoes. If anybody's going over there, and I'm going to hunt you down if you try to steal my shoes from Robbie Dobby.
Robbie Dobby, okay.
Robbie Dobby.
There we go. We need
Ricky
some
Bobby
help.
and Bobby Dobby.
I love it. Sounds great. All right, boys. Good stuff. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out today. We appreciate it. Everyone for tuning in today. TV, radio, podcast, web, and, of course, up on YouTube Live. Every show up on TSN's YouTube channel. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at...
When's Ern McCracken going to pop up in the playoffs? Never know.
Fourth champion.